it can really kind of transform the behavior and turn it around. And then you find, wow, I don't even need to use this anymore. So it's really a wonderful tool that you don't need to use forever. Hey there, I'm Katherine Barker, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing the 4 most common mistakes made when it comes to daily behavior reports for students. And these were mistakes that I made personally and that I had to really learn from to really kind of tweak my behavior reports and make some changes for them to be successful. So mistake number 1 is not being consistent with your daily behavior report. And I was guilty of doing this all the time. It is so hard as a teacher. You are juggling so many balls, right? You have, I feel like, a million tabs open. You're doing this and running over here and trying to teach this and trying to help the student who's crying. And it can just kind of be a circus at times, right? And so the last thing you really is on your mind is a daily behavior report. But there are some kind of tricks that you can do to really help you be consistent with doing it every day. And the reason why it's so important to be consistent is because it just can be confusing for students when sometimes you do the daily behavior report and sometimes you don't. The parents can get confused, and it just kind of sends the message that it doesn't really matter what the behavior is because it's kind of just like a dice roll whether or not it's accounted for. It can also feel really discouraging for students because say they had a day where they had really good behavior but there was no reward for it. Or on the flip side, maybe they had kind of a disastrous day of behavior and there was no accountability for it. And they're like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. So that's why it's so important that we stay consistent with our daily behavior report. So my best tip on making sure that you're being consistent with your daily behavior report is, for me personally, I had to put it somewhere where I could physically, visually see it. It was in front of my face, and so it would kind of constantly remind me throughout the day, oh yeah, that's right, I need to be following up with that, that's right. So I had a few different places that I would place it. I like to leave my daily behavior report next to my chair, in front of the carpet, where I would frequently do like whole group stuff with the kiddos. We would do calendar. We often met at the carpet. So I had like a little bookshelf and I would just set the report there. So I could know, I would look and go, oh, that's right. I need to kind of follow up with that. Another place that I would put my daily behavior report is my, like my kidney table when I would have my small group. So I would actually physically take it from my chair and I would bring it over and set it at the small group area so I could remember, okay, I need to follow up with them, how they do at every center. I'm going to give some incentive or reward for whatever it is. And then I would oftentimes move it to my desk. So I would have my desk needed to be cleaned. It was cleared off and I would just have it dead in the center so I could not miss it. All that to say, put it where you can see it. Put the daily behavior report where you will, where you frequently are, where you constantly visit, where you are able to physically see it and it just reminds you. So in that moment when you see the daily behavior report, you can remember, okay, that's right, I'm looking for good behavior. Kind of watch that student and look for opportunities where you can reward that good behavior. The second mistake that's made with daily behavior reports is setting the bar too high. So expecting a student to sit quietly and make great choices the entire day and do their work at all their tables and have no problems during the playground and recess time, it just isn't realistic to expect that for that student in the beginning. So we want to really set realistic expectations for that student and really set a bar that they can reach. The third mistake made when it comes to daily behavior reports is using them indefinitely. Daily behavior reports should not be used forever. I personally don't think they should be used for the entire school year. Now, am I saying that is set in stone no matter what? They should never ever be used for this whole entire school year? No, I would never ever say that. Obviously, each student is unique. They all have unique needs. You have, your classroom, you know your kids better than anybody. So whatever you think that student needs, if you feel like, you know what, they're really thriving off of this, I'm just gonna keep it going, go for it. But I have found the majority of the times you don't need to keep using that daily behavior report because you can get burnout on it. The student can get burnout. It really is meant to be kind of used as a stepping stone, as a tool to help to get that student to the ideal behavior that you're looking for. I find that it's really a short-term tool that's really meant to be used maybe for a few months, and you can kind of slowly fade it out. When you kind of hit it hard at the beginning and you're really consistent with it and you're really using it, it, you can kind of really work out that negative behavior, and it can really kind of transform the behavior and turn it around. And then you find, wow, I don't even need to use this anymore. So it's really a wonderful tool that you don't need to use forever. And the fourth mistake that's often made with daily behavior reports is not involving parents in the process or not communicating to parents on a frequent basis about how the behavior reports are going. Involving parents in the process of your daily behavior reports can make a huge difference. I have found that when you involve parents in the daily behavior report process, it just adds another level of accountability for the student. That kiddo doesn't just get to have kind of a rough day at school and then go home and like it's fine and the parent has no idea about it. It kind of helps them to know like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have some accountability when I come home, and they can know like I didn't have a great day at school. And on the flip side of that, we want them to know they had a great day, right? We want to let the parents know they had an awesome day. Oh my goodness, celebrate that at home. So then that just further reinforces that good behavior. I have loved using parents kind of as a tool and as an incentive for my students to really encourage the good behavior. Parents can play a huge role in encouraging positive behavior from students. And it's just so wonderful involving the parent in that process. And I really like to use parent-teacher conferences as kind of a time to really hash out a good behavior plan. Or maybe we had established a behavior plan beforehand and we would kind of talk more about it, see if we could tweak it, change it, how it was going. I loved using parent-teacher conferences as really a time to really kind of discuss that behavior, like, hey, this is what we're seeing, this is where we want them. How can we work together to really help them grow and make better choices? And how can we motivate them and encourage them to make better choices at school? And if you'd like to hear more about my tips and tricks for how to have awesome parent-teacher conferences, check out my video, 3 tips on how to make your parent-teacher conferences a success. So the other part of this mistake is maybe not communicating at all with the parents about how the daily behavior reports are going. So if you set up a daily behavior report, you've told the parents about it, hey, this is what we're doing at school, this is how we're encouraging the positive behavior, this is the incentive, maybe you've set up one at home, this is how we're working together, and every day I'm going to let you know how the kiddo did. And you can kind of work out with the parent what is the best way for you to communicate that child's behavior at the end of the day. You can also use like a messaging app like Remind and just send a quick message and say, hey, they did awesome today, or hey, they kind of struggled, let's talk more about it in person. I personally, if ever I'm communicating that a student had kind of a rough day, I never like to do it over like email or text. I just find that things can get lost in translation. So it's really better to kind of have those conversations in person, kind of the tougher conversations. But you can use like an app, whatever kind of works for you and what works for that parent, to kind of just make sure you're having that frequent conversation so they know every day kind of how their kiddo did, and helping that parent feel very much a part of the process of that we're working together to help your child make better choices at school. We want to, kind of change their behavior. We want to encourage the good behavior, and let's work together to make that happen. All right, that wraps up this video on the 4 common mistakes made with daily behavior reports. And be sure to check out my video on the 3 tips that will make sure that your parent-teacher conferences are an absolute success. All right, that's all for now, my friend. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, happy teaching.